Greetings, greetings, greetings. Come on in, come on in, come on in. I'm just gonna hold up for a minute. I'm not gonna be on here long. I know I say that every time I go live, but my guides have been pressing for me to go live more often, so that's what I'm doing. I'm Khamsin, the Untamed Oracle. If you are new, welcome. It's a safe space for crazy people. Because it seems that there are people who believe things that the majority do not believe, and those people are usually categorized as crazy. But I would rather be crazy than the NPC. And so I'm okay with that. Okay? I don't want to be a non-player character who is just getting hijacked left and right. You need something? You can come in if you need to. I don't want to be that. So I want to talk about this whole decentering men situation and decentering women as well. Have y'all heard about this? Who here has first of all, who here is single? I got any single people popping up here today? I don't know how y'all found me. I have no idea how y'all be finding me. When I tell y'all I'm not easy to find, I'm really not easy to find. Have y'all heard about this though? Do it seem like intimacy is going extinct? Do it seem like it's hard to connect with people, especially since the lockdowns? Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Like this, if you know me like this, if you don't know me like this as well, I appreciate it, because that's digital resonance, digital reciprocity. So like this, thank you. For those of you who know, you know, once I open up and start channeling, you hear things you've never heard before, but it felt like you've heard it before because your soul needed to hear it. I'm not gonna be on here too long. I really love being able to do this with people who are open-minded and open-hearted. But who here is single? I feel like I got a lot of single people today. Why am I feeling like this? I feel like I'm attracting a lot of single people today. I'm just wondering what's going on with y'all with like relationships right now. You're married. Okay. I can speak to that. I can speak to being single too. But let me say this. Do y'all realize that relationships is like one of the most challenging yet soul evolving things that you could experience? Okay, you're married but you hate your wife. Okay. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, because this is I'm getting to the point of something. I'm finna make something make sense for a lot of y'all. Because most of the information that I see out there, I do not trust it and I don't agree with it. And I know I'm not the only one, so let me set the record straight. Most of us developed who we are when we was the worst version of ourselves. I know I'm not the only one. Let's just keep it real. Most of us probably develop relationships before we actually learn how to love ourselves. That's just like, I don't know anybody who's never had a self-love deficit. Okay? Right now, whatever you've been running from about yourself, is showing itself to you. The pain that you have ignored for a long time, the emptiness that you feel even if you're around people, how you feel about yourself when you look in the mirror, how you feel about yourself maybe when you look at your bank account, how you feel about yourself when you look at your partner. Some people are like, I can't even believe this is the person that I married. I can't believe this is the person I chose to be with. Some people may be single right now and feeling like I might just be single for the rest of my life. And based on what I'm hearing, like, that's just it. People don't be honest. People aren't kind. People are losing empathy. People don't have patience. It's hard for you to know who people really are. It seems like people are different than their persona online and in real life. People got some real shit going on. People got generational trauma coming up. Like since the lockdowns, it was like a pressure cooker that we was put in. And so it's just like all of this stuff is just purging out of us. And a lot of us, if we just really be real with ourselves, like there's an emptiness and a void that we feel on the inside somewhere in some area of your life. And that's normal. We have been striving to be perfect for too long. It is a subconscious program that you must be perfect. You must perform well to be loved. And that's not true. I lived my whole life as a performance, trying to get people to see my value so that they wouldn't abandon me. Trying to get people to see that I'm someone that you want to keep around. Because I didn't know that love was not earned. Trust is earned, but love is a risk that we take. Love is something that no human is gonna be perfect, right? But love is something that I think a lot of us don't really know what love is, but love is that thing that there is no words to encompass. Love is something that the ego is not capable of doing. Love has to start with how you feel with yourself. Yes, baby.
I'm gonna head outside real quick.
Wait till after I finish doing this.
Alright.
Love is, I really don't always like myself. That's love. To be able to admit that. I don't always like myself. And from what I'm saying, we lost the value. We forgot the value of loving ourselves. And we started seeking it from other places and people and things. We're not being allowed to do that anymore. We're not being allowed to do that to ourselves anymore. We're not being allowed to betray ourselves anymore. We're not being allowed to live in lies anymore. See, the generations before us, like the baby boomers, like this was how they survived. A lot of the things that they learned, we learned from them, but it was a survival thing, and a lot of us are exhausted from trying to survive. Survival, being stuck in survival all the time is exhausting, and it's difficult for love to coexist when you feel like you're always fighting for your life. You're always fighting for your right. You're always fighting to prove that you're not wrong, or fighting to prove that you're lovable. You're always trying to be as good as the people that you see on this side, not really saying what's going on in the people on this side's lives in the background. And I can tell you, it's a lot of chaos. It's a lot of drama. It's a lot of stuff happening. But how do you learn how to be happy with yourself just as you are? Like, you're not going to be able to fix everything in your life. And I really don't like social media when it comes to how we feel about ourselves. Because when you start feeling those negative feelings about yourself, if you get on social media, your vibrational frequency is going to attract content that's going to send you deeper into the abyss of those dense, negative, low vibrational feelings. And it's okay to feel feelings, because feelings are meant to move through us. They're not meant to stay. But a lot of us get stuck in certain feelings. And so I've been telling people that this is digital dope right here. You can get a quick hit. Like who needs oxytocin? Who needs bonding hormones? And I can just get on here and get a quick dopamine hit and feel the reward system activated from just being on here. But there's always more than one thing happening at one time. Okay, so subconsciously, what's going on with you? Be aware of that. Just being able to be aware of that, so you're not attracting things that's going to make you feel worse about yourself. Because see, what we can see is such a small part of the spectrum of what really exists. I mean, the visible spectrum of what we can see is a fragment of what's really happening around us at all times. And so there are energies that are on this planet that came here in 2019, 2020, and with the Saturn Jupiter conjunction, there were entities coming in, and I saw them as these slimy, black, gooey energies coming in. And I saw it coming into our solar system. And I saw it sticking to buildings, people, anything that it could stick to, anything that spend enough time in low vibrations that it could attach to. And I think that I was in Mount Shasta when I first had this experience and saw this. And I started to interact with what is this dark energy that's coming in, and it's this energy that feeds on our despair. And and people are losing jobs. Like, it's stuff that's happening. Food recalls. A lot of us don't even know what the hell to eat anymore. Like, is it even safe to go to the grocery store anymore? And so many things that once gave us a sense of safety isn't there anymore. And so the meaning that we assign to what's happening to us is going to determine whether or not we are in a symbiotic relationship with archonic parasites, energetic parasites. Let's not even talk about people when they behave as parasites. Sometimes we behave as parasites. Sometimes we reach out to people because we need to vent. We're not reaching out to people because we want to hear what's going on with them. We just want to get something off of our chest. And you could kind of look at that as being a parasite. You could kind of look at that as being someone who's seeking a supply, an ear to listen to them. And you can kind of look at it that way, right? But depending on how much you spend time in these levels of consciousness is going to determine what type of entities are in your field, not just on your body, in your body and your organs, but what type of energies are resonating inside of your field. And we're getting more sensitive to energy. We're becoming more energetic. We're moving away from being physical beings and moving into this vibrational existence where our thoughts create thought forms and our words weave webs. And we sometimes sabotage ourselves because of things that we feel about ourselves or say to ourselves. And I just want to shift your attention away from what other people have done and what other people may do that hurts you. Because as long as you are overly focused on that, you're not going to be happy with yourself, and you're not going to be happy in any relationship. And so when I hear the conversation, people say, men are incapable of love. And I don't believe that men are incapable of love. Absolutely not. I believe that a lot of men have been wounded in ways that created a blockage for them to be able to experience love, receive love, give love, to be transmitters of love. I believe that all of us have this within us. I don't believe that we're coming into this space. For those of you who are single and your hope for a healthy relationship is just like, is non-existent. Like, from what I'm hearing, like, the world is just screwed up. And I'm telling you, it's not true. It's not true. It's not true. It's not true. Don't listen. Most of these people who seem to be experts in this, if it don't resonate with your heart, if it feels like the information that you're hearing is going to require you to abandon parts of yourself, don't listen to that. These entities are now hijacking people that have a large reach, because they need to be able to feed and get this supply from us. And I need you to listen. And this is what confirmed this. Because let me tell you, men are capable of love, women are capable of love, but a lot of us didn't have people love us the way we needed to. So we don't have a matrix set up based on love. Our matrix is set up based on fear. It's the fear of not being enough. It's the fear of being too much. It's the fear of being too honest. It's the fear of not saying enough. It's the fear of a lot of us walk on eggshells. We grew up and it wasn't safe to be angry. It wasn't safe to say, I'm upset about this and da da da. It wasn't safe to do that. So we learned to swallow our truth and repress our anger. But that has to come back up. It has to come back up. It can't stay down forever. And so what happened was, us here on earth, we was put in a container. We were put in a quarantine space. So for a long time, a lot of stuff that we used to do, it was passable. And it would kind of work for you. When they took us out of that time capsule, right around that time, right before the pandemic happened, we were taken out of that time capsule. And now we're having to grow up. We're having to grow up. We're having to emotionally mature enough to love the parts of ourselves that we don't like. Do that one thing. Whatever you can find that can help you love the parts of yourself you don't like, I'm telling you, this is game changer. Just that one thing. I really want to see more love on the planet. I really do. I give a lot. I really care about that. And in order for us to see more love in the world, because I feel like mostly everybody, maybe not. Maybe you want some fuck the world shit. That's okay too. I've been there. I go there. That's a magical place. Okay, you can work with that too. But I feel like y'all want to see more love in the world too. And for people who want to see more love in the world to hear that having a healthy relationship is damn near impossible, that's grim. But it's not the truth. It's not the truth. It's not the truth. So as these things are coming up for you, okay? I talked about this in my last live. Every trigger is a portal that's open up that can either transfer you to your future self or to your past self. Every trigger, okay? Because what we thought was going to be World War III, we thought it was going to be physical, right? Because this is what the 3D has been based on, but it's moving into frequency, okay? It's all about the energy. It's all about the vibrations, okay? So World War III is actually the war that's happening between our own ego and our heart. Between our lower self and our higher self. Between the identity that we were programmed to believe that we were, to who we really are on the divine level. That's where the war is happening. It's not between men and women. It's not even between races. It's about energy. And so the way that we bring more love into the world, so much is happening in the world right now. Now, if you are here to be a love worker, you experience a lot of heartbreak. Because that's the catalyst. That teaches you how you do not want to be. And it gives you clarity on where you belong. It's one of the best things that could ever happen to people who want more love, want to experience more love. And ultimately, with all of the energetic manipulation that's happening right now, because so much of the artificial intelligence energy is coming in, a lot of people are feeling more bonding happening with non-human entities than humans. It's kind of dangerous place to be in. And a lot of people feel more comfortable being vulnerable with artificial intelligence than they do with people that they live with their partners, with their children, their family members, whoever. And that's a sign of extreme loneliness. That's a sign of a major disconnect between us and our own soul. And I hope that you have somebody in your circle of influence that you can be human with, right? That you can just be with. And some moments you might be just a hot mess, and then you don't have to perform. You don't have to fake it. You can take the mask off. So it's so important that we start doing this with ourselves and taking risk. Take risk. You got to take risk. You don't know who you can trust until you allow yourself to be in a situation where people get to show you whether or not they're trustworthy. Take risk. Don't cut yourself off from everything, and you're not having these experiences that your soul signed up for. You're only delaying the inevitable. And that's the worst way to do it, because when it comes in a really painful way. Okay? So my beliefs are my beliefs, but I share them because I'm an oracle and I download from the Akashic Records. So this transcends different religions and beliefs. This information is information that can be applied to anybody. Don't let the news and what you're seeing on the outside distract you from what your focus is supposed to be. And for those of you who feel you feel lost, confused, what am I supposed to be doing? Some of us are ready to get out of the simulated reality where the loop is the same shit every day. Death by 1,000 paper cuts, basically. A lot of us want to come out of those loops. It's almost like Groundhog Day every day, And the soul can't be nurtured when you feel that way. So take some risk. Take some calculated risk. Wear something that you wouldn't usually wear and just see what happens. Don't put yourself in a prison right now. Okay? Take some chances in your reality to embody whatever you want to embody. Just do it. Let yourself live just a little bit more. Because for those of us who experience a lot of trauma, letting ourselves live is scary. That's scary for us. And I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I could, but I'm not going to. And I preface this next statement this way for a reason. Because the truth of the reality is, nobody got it all together. Nobody. And the very first thing we must do to get out of this dark, chaotic space that we have been stuck recycling for these parasites who feed off of us, find a way to be happy. Find a way to not worry. Give yourself the gift of being happy, not being worried. Just set a timer for 5 minutes and say, for the next 5 minutes, I'm going to be optimistic. And just sit with whatever is coming up. Just for 5 minutes, be delusional about what you are perceiving about you, your life, the people in it, and what's happening. Just spend 5 minutes on the island of delusional optimism. Now, this isn't toxic positivity. This is something different. Because the people that I feel like I'm speaking to right now, I feel like you probably have already experienced that. And that annoys you. It annoys me. So I'm not telling you to be positive. As if any other thing that you feel has no use or benefit. I'm saying start setting a timer. You on here on TikTok watching me now, so you got time to do it. Set a timer for the next 5 minutes, and any word that comes into my mind, I'm gonna find a positive reframe for it, and I'm just gonna be optimistic. Just let yourself see what it feel like to be delusional. Just for a moment. It's always gonna be some stuff going on in your life that don't look perfect. But just for a few moments, sit with yourself and be like, just for the next 5 minutes. Look, if you make it big, you're not gonna do it. Baby steps. I call this micro goals. Just small goal. And do it every day. And what you will find is probably nothing in your life is gonna change at first. But you're gonna start feeling a little bit lighter. A little bit better. Okay? That one thing, it has helped me so much. And I'm speaking as somebody who has been diagnosed to be clinically depressed, meaning I have depressive states that come up over and over and over again, and learning how to manage that. And so I set my timer. It feels crazy as hell just to even tell y'all that I do this, but it works. And this is what I'd like to be able to do. I'd like to be able to share y'all simple things that you can do that's going to help you to release suffering and at least put you in a neutral space. Because the goal, the safe space, is neutrality. The things that you want to materialize into this world, the things that you want to give birth to, if you can't get yourself in a vibration high enough, consistent enough to bring birth to whatever it is, stop putting so much energy and effort into it. Stop trying to fix yourself. Shift into a neutral space. And you can just 5 minutes a day. I ain't got no negative judgments about nothing. I'm not going to add no feedback to the inner critic inside of my mind when it starts talking. Just for the next 5 minutes. And do it every day. And come back to this video. I'm going to repost this video on my YouTube just because I'm feeling led to do that right now. Come back and comment and let me know. Wait at least a week. Do this one thing. Ignore everything else. If you watching me, this was a divine moment for you to connect and get this. You obviously have been asking for this information if you're watching me. You put it out there and I'm just the messenger. So for 5 minutes, even better, look yourself in the mirror before you do it and say, look, this might be going on, that's going on, my phone ringing, this person died, the kids crying, ain't no food, I'm getting laid off, I got 2 opportunities and I don't know which one to choose, and I'm reaching a deadline. My partner is going through something, they just got diagnosed with something and they're in a dark place about it and they're feeling depressed, and I've been codependent, so when other people get depressed, it had me feeling away, and I know better than this, but for some reason I can't change it right now. So for the next 5 minutes, no matter what's going on in my life that I'm uncomfortable with, I'm gonna be fucking delusional. Okay, I'm just letting you know. Go cry, do whatever you need to do, scream, get it out, and then for the next 5 minutes we're gonna be delusional, optimistically delusional for just 5 minutes. And the ego is gonna want to do it because you're presenting it in a way to the ego where it's a challenge. So the ego like to, yeah, I got this. I can do that. So this is how you get the ego to work with you, to make the ego an ally. And I'm serious, y'all. Set your timer and be optimistically delusional about your life for 5 minutes. This is a practice. Everybody be talking about high vibes. Well, how the fuck do you get there, though? What am I supposed to do to get there? What if I'm not feeling like that? How do I get there? And are my feelings facts? Do my feelings mean that I'm not vibing high? No, they don't mean that. They don't mean that. And so we program reality through a combination of our thoughts, emotions, and that energy in motion, so the actions that we take. okay, or the actions that we don't take. That leaves an energetic signature on your reality. And they all have different buffer periods. So if you can't change all the other things in your life, do this one thing, and what it's going to do is it's going to start interfering with whatever negative pattern has been keeping you stuck in the simulated reality where everything outside of us is trying to get us to feel bad. And I know I'm not the only one that has felt this. It's the reason for that. It's the reason that the news talk about what they talk about most of the time. I'm so grateful for real food. Who gonna do this? I want you to actually do this. Do not have regrets. Okay? Like, this is the moment right here where you start making some small decisions that's gonna yield a positive outcome without having to stress yourself out, without having to jump through a lot of hoops, without having to meditate for 2 hours, without having to hike up fucking the Himalaya mountains and meet a monk, without having to go to the jungle and meet with a shaman. Like, I want things to be within anybody's reach and practical. Alright? So, what you must do, commit to this. Commit to this one thing. Hey, sis. Okay. Now I know who you are. Yes, commit to this one thing. Y'all gonna be shook. Y'all gonna be like, this Khamsin Untamed Oracle chick, I don't know about her, but I think she might know what she's talking about. And I'm telling y'all from experience. Now, if I can sit here and have this type of conversation with y'all, on top of having sickle cell anemia, a very painful disease, and I had a pain spell hit me so bad today at some point in the middle of grocery shopping, I can't control when it happens, and many other issues that come with that. And I have a tumor that's 75% cancerous that I'm dealing with, and I don't want to have traditional surgery. But anything that's not traditional is not covered by insurance, and it's expensive. That's just 2 things going on with me right now. And I find things to be grateful for. And I don't want you to feel ashamed if you struggle to feel gratitude. Because I feel like a lot of us probably feel ashamed when we don't feel gratitude, when we feel depressed, when we doubt ourselves, when we criticizing ourselves. The worst thing that you could do is feel ashamed of the fact that you're doing that. Because now, shame, let me tell you what shame does. Shame punishes the inner child inside of you and says, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. And this is why we shrink. This is why we dim our light. This is why we're not comfortable being seen. This is why we don't own our truth. Why do you think so many women wait till they're in their 50s and then all of a sudden they switch out their husband for a wife? Probably for a long time they've been feeling that way. But it was difficult for them to actually live that. Right? And it's shame. Shame is what's used to create these prisons where we dislike ourselves. And don't be ashamed of that. Maybe you are at a certain age where you feel like your credit score, and you're like, my credit score is horrible, and you might feel a way about that, and you might be like, at this point in my life, like, how have I not gotten this together? And I'm telling you, don't be ashamed of that. It is what it is, and you can only do the best that you can do. Is that enough? It has to be enough to you. Once you feel like doing your best is enough, the universe will mirror that back to you. And the universe will send people into your life who will see the beauty inside of you despite the flaws. It will bring people into your life who pick you up and they're not trying to get anything from you. It will start to shift situations in your life. Whether you got a boss who is an asshole or a partner who is emotionally unavailable, we all got something. If you got adult children at this point, like, you really can see the wounds that you did not heal when your children become adults. And I have a 23-year-old. And I have learned so much about myself through having an adult child and having a grandson. So I get to see my influence in 3 generations. That is an uncomfortable space to be in, because sometimes you really don't know how you affect people. Are we breathing? Are you breathing deeply, or are you breathing shallow and just from your chest? Do you ever catch yourself doing that? Because I catch myself holding my breath sometimes. And I'd be like, why am I holding my breath? Like, on some real strange shit. Is there a part of me that doesn't want to live? Yes. Because this world seems foreign to people like us who can read energy, who are sensitive to energy. You know, so breathe deeply. Breathe from your stomach. Just a few times a day, just drop into your breath. And this is why when we get overwhelmed, what do? It's so much intelligence that's inside of our body. And I know that the food and the glyphosates and the stuff they spraying on it and the pesticides and the pollution in the air, all of that is getting worse and worse. Like, by the second, we keep hearing stuff. We keep learning stuff. Ignorance is bliss, and we don't have the beautiful gift of ignorance anymore, because we have access to all types of information now. So you can't even be blissfully ignorant no more. The universe is like, nope, I'm not letting y'all be blissfully ignorant no more. You said you wanted to come to this world and change it. You said that you wanted to end generational cycles. That's what you said. That's in your soul contract. So now I'm going to let you see the truth. And I'm pulling it all down. The mask, the veil, the mask that you wear. We wear masks. When I meet people who don't wear masks, they're usually people that I respect. You know, I don't know if y'all ever watch Young Sheldon, but it's like this little boy, and he's really, really smart, but he's on the autistic spectrum, and he do not wear a mask at all. And sometimes that means that he say stuff where I'd be like, why did he say that? Because the false self inside of me knows what the codes is. It's rules to the game of navigating the 3D world and never getting abandoned, never getting hurt by people. We're all bracing ourselves, trying not to be ever hurt again. That's why we do a lot of the stuff that we do. That's why we have the coping mechanisms that we have. He don't wear no mask. He just, grandma, that outfit really looks horrible on you. And he really don't mean no harm. He's just honest 24/7. You know, and it's just, it's really interesting because he got Christian parents, and he'll say things like, I really don't, the way that you all are doing this thing with God, like, it makes no sense to me. He's a genius, very high IQ. He's just being honest. And I feel like a lot of us probably wanted to say that when we was kids. Some of us might did, and we probably got popped. Because let me tell you, it ain't no bodyguard like no usher in the church. That's the OG of religion. Don't let the white gloves fool you. I mean, sitting there talking about something you don't believe in. So see, a lot of us didn't feel supported If you believe anything that's different than what other people believe, it's not okay. Right? And this is how the 3D matrix, the social constructs, it creates suffering. It causes us to not like ourselves, and it causes division between us. I haven't been Christian for a very long time, but I have people that I love dearly, and that we're still close, who are Christians, and they know how I feel. They didn't see my witchy videos and candle magic and how to do a reverse spell and how to do egg divination and tarot and oracle cards. They didn't see all of that, but my character speaks for itself. And so some people are able to see me for me despite all of that. But that's because I did the work on being able to see myself through a lens of purity, not trying to be right, not trying to be good, and not trying to be perfect. And if a lot of us let that go, you feel so much better. So check yourself and see if you're breathing. I attract people who experience trauma and came here to learn how to transmute that trauma. This is one of the main soul contracts that I have. So the next thing would be, are you clenching? I catch myself clenching right up in here. Clenching my teeth. Hey, babe.
Hey, you doing all right?
Thank you.
Okay. This is copies of it.
Okay. Then don't look. I'm telling y'all, don't look. Don't sleep on these simple things. Catch yourself and see if you clench. Do you clench your teeth? Do you grind your teeth in your sleep? Do you grind your teeth when you get mad? Just start with your body. This is the temple. This is the third temple. This is the holy temple. Okay? You are the makeup of what we call church that's in these buildings that's created to harvest energy. It's just a replica, but we're the original. Okay? So catch yourself, your jaws. Our jaws are connected to our pelvis. As above, so below. This is why the vocal cords look just like the womb and the uterus and the cervix. So it's a mirror image of each other. And so if you're tight here or sore, and the only way that you'll know, I'm going to show you how you know. If you open your mouth and rub the joint that is pushing up the highest. Right in here. And press in and see if you find tender spots. Just like that. If you find tender spots, you're holding tension here. And you're probably somebody who you weren't really loved and supported when you were speaking your truth. Right in here. And so that's something else that you can do to help you be more in tune with yourself. The last tip I'm gonna give y'all, I think I've been doing like these mini master classes lately. And so I'm just wanting to help other people. I've learned so much, and there's no way I could cram it all in. That's why I got all of those courses on my website, because I've learned so many things that's really effective. And if I could do this all day, every day, I really, really would. But I spend 2 hours every morning and 2 hours every night self-care routine. And it's a non-negotiable. And that means that I have pissed off a lot of people because I don't show up. And if my body is in need of something, if my mind is in need of something, if my soul is in need of something, I prioritize that over external things that maybe that I agreed to do. So this is when you start making decisions like this, you're going to get a soul return on investment. Right? So just taking better care of your body. And I'm sure some of y'all probably found some soreness in there. And just spend some time working that out. This will not only help you to speak your truth to yourself, but it will help you to see the truth about yourself. Now, I mentioned the vagus nerve because the vagus nerve it runs from the base of the skull all the way down into the stomach. And I believe that the vagus nerve is the main communicator between the stomach, which is the first brain, and the brain. So this is like what rules over a lot of our impulses, the way that we respond to bad news, the way that we respond when we get triggered, right? And so what I do to help my vagus nerves, because if you start working with your vagus nerve, and now I'm talking about nerves, I know you think that there's something that's inside your body, but I'm telling you, it's so much more than that. Our individual nervous system, okay, there are 72,000 circuits that move energy within the body. These circuits, these meridians, okay, within the body, and it's all energy is always moving, okay. And when you take 72,000 circuits and combine it with someone else who has 72,000 circuits within their body, those two make 144,000. So there's power in being able to have a regulated nervous system, a healthy nervous system. And so what I'm saying to you is the state of your nervous system is going to touch everything that you touch, everything that you speak, everything that you interact with. And the nervous system creates energetic tethers. And it's like I see these like spirals of energy around people. And when people's nervous system is dysregulated, or maybe they're angry, pissed off about something, I can be driving a vehicle 4 or 5 vehicles from behind them, see their energy, feel it, stay away from them, observe, and by the time we get halfway down the street, they done did something crazy, and I could just feel it. So our nervous system spirals out of the body, and it touches everything we interact with around us. Now, the heart has an auric field of energy as well. It usually goes out 3 feet. If you've been doing the healing work around the heart, you can expand that energy field and make it bigger. So before we touch each other, we touch each other. Okay? And you're always interacting with everything that's in your environment. So when you work with your vagus nerve, it helps the inner child inside of you who maybe is not feeling safe because of certain things that you are doing to yourself. Certain places you put yourself in, you know you're not supposed to be. Certain conversations you have that really don't align with you. Certain things that you agree to, and you really don't feel it in your heart. Like whatever it is, we all got those things that we do. Because let me tell you, my false self is on point. Let me tell you, it like real quick. She come in on some real Agent Smith shit. I don't even see it coming. And I can be being authentic, and I be like, I'm going to be authentic today no matter what. And something to happen, and when my false self come in, can't nobody out nice my false self. If there was a nice Olympics, I would be the gold medalist. That's how good she is, and she quick. And the way that I talk, everything about me will change. And I could be speaking to somebody that I actually have a problem with, and I want to work it out with them. And the false self will kick in, and I'll just avoid conflict. And sometimes that's necessary, but not always. And this is when you tell people shit like, thank you so much. No, I really mean, no. Thank you so much. You get dramatic as fuck about being nice, just out the blue. You like, what the hell, why am I, like, why am I thanking them? I call them, they get paid to help me out. Thank you so much. The false self, it does that. It's a hologram. It's a set of memories of things that kept you safe, and you do it whenever you leave a level of awareness that's going to keep it in check. So this is why a lot of us don't like certain things in our life and people in our lives, because you attracted people who also were afraid of being their authentic selves. And so it just you don't feel a connection. You don't feel fed by the connection. And so many women are feeling this in their relationships because men have been severely damaged when it comes to the nervous system and held back, just like women have, but just in different ways. So something that you could do for your vagus nerve is to, and this will help neck tension as well. I don't know who here, because I deal with neck tension. If you are an empath, complex PTSD, hypersensitive, hypervigilant, hyper-responsible, had to grow up too fast, experience narcissistic abuse, or autistic, ADHD, BPD, any of these things, bipolar, even if you ain't been diagnosed, but you feel like you do be acting like that sometimes, any of that, you usually go feel some tension in your neck at some point through the week. And because we got these devices and we're always looking down, and that puts like a lot of pressure, pounds of pressure on the spinal cord. Okay, so you can just kind of massage the base of the skull just to help start getting you back into your body, because a lot of us feel more comfortable when we're distracted, because what we're doing is we're detaching from being inside of our body and being present with everything that's happening in here. And so we like to detach from that. We like to leave our body. We like to be, it's other words that I could use to express that, but I feel like y'all know what I'm talking about. When you sometimes you need a distraction, and you like, I need something to distract me. I just need something to distract me. Alcohol, you don't want to feel everything. You want to numb some of the stuff that you're dealing with. Drugs, you want to numb some of the stuff that you're dealing with. Food as a drug, you want to numb something that you're feeling. You want to quiet thoughts. This is the challenge, is for us to be present with it all and not need a substance or somebody else or something outside of us to make us feel better, to be able to be present with it all. And so coming back to the body and just right in here. And what this will do is, this will help to retrain the nervous system so that you're not sending out spirals that say, I'm ashamed, I'm not enough, something is wrong with me, I'm forever trying to fix myself, I'm forever trying to fix people and people don't appreciate me, I'm sick of this shit. And then you get resentful. So now you're sending out spirals of resentment. And they just spiral and ripple out day to day, day to day, day to day. And then things start coming into your life that mirrors that. And you're like, what the fuck? When it rains, it pours. Like, it's just one thing after the other. Why shit keep happening? And the universe is just showing you, like, this is the vibrational signal you've been sending out. And that signal then calls something in. So, okay, how you gonna deal with it? And that's gonna determine how long you stay in that space. And we really are the creators of our reality, but it's gonna take some time. I'm not even finna make it seem like, people make it seem like you can just watch one webinar and do it. No, it's gonna take some time. And it's these simple things is not gonna overwhelm you that you can do. So don't ignore that. When you feel that, tune into that. Men, I want y'all to be able to have women who are, they yearn to be around you. But that's not gonna happen if you tense, you tight, you rigid, stressed, overwhelmed. You gotta have ways to manage the stress. Your nervous system not regulated, she's not gonna feel safe around you. And so many women, we have been willing to open our legs even when we didn't feel fully present with that person and felt like that person was fully present with us and able to actually hold space with all of our being. And so we have to be soft in that moment and be what they want us to be in that moment and avoid hurting their ego in that moment. And this has been going on for generations, and it created an unhealthy way of us interacting with each other, and we're having to unlearn and relearn. So this is reprogramming the subconscious mind. So the vagus nerve will help you in all of these things and so many more things. And so what I do is I unroll my ears. Just unroll your ear. Unrolling the ear. Now, the shape of the ear is the shape of a baby in a mother's womb. Everything within your whole body is within the ear. In Chinese medicine, this is viewed as the dashboard to the entire body. So when you're doing this, you're tuning your body to be in a more harmonious state. And you just unroll, come down to the lobes of the ears. And if you have headaches, I get headaches as well with the neck tension. You want to just kind of put space in between the ear and your skull. Take some slow deep breaths, and this is you can start to feel, as I'm walking you through this, you'll feel a difference. And then you take your finger, go inside your ear. Now if you pull your finger out and there's a lot of wax on it, just go and wipe that shit off and do it again. It's alright. It is what it is. We be wearing headphones, we packing stuff down in there. You're like, whoa. But you stick your fingers in your ear, just like this, and roll it around from the top to the bottom. And do that a few times. Slow deep breaths. And then you're going to take this part of your ear and put gentle pressure and just kind of pulse it, squeeze it. And this is vagus nerve stimulation. And this can help digestion as well. It can help you to feel more relaxed. Something so simple. And you can do this. I do this like before I go to bed. I do this if I just had a stressful conversation with somebody. I do this when I don't like for people to be mad at me. It makes me I feel really uncomfortable when people are mad at me, especially people who really don't know how to communicate why they're mad at me so we can work it out. And so when I have to sit in that space of just watching somebody, parade around me, upset with me about something, but we're not working it out, I need something to just stimulate my vagus nerve and regulate my own nervous system so I'm not being codependent and feeling like I gotta resolve this with this person like immediately so that I can feel at peace. And so just learning how to be able to feel at peace with yourself no matter what's going on. So those are some simple things that you can do to help you with that. Now, if you was looking for something outstanding and I'm telling y'all, it's the simple stuff. Okay, we need to get back to the basics of learning how to take care of ourselves and love ourselves. And then all of that other stuff, it just starts to be a bonus feature to the reality that you're creating because you're going to the source. And the source is your nervous system. It is your nervous system. And everything in this world right now is battling to control our nervous system, to control the algorithm of our thoughts and our emotions. Okay? So I hope this helps somebody. People, when I get on here and do positive things and I'm like, if I was doing something negative or something like that, it'd get way more reach. It make me laugh because I'm like, the 3D Matrix obviously does not like this. But I hope that this helps somebody. I'm going to repost this replay because I was serious about this. I really want y'all to use this. 7 days. Because with the work that you're doing on yourself, I'm finna tell you some shit that's really, 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 I really hope you let this land. Because a lot of us have a hard time receiving positive things and believing that it applies to us. And that's because so much shit has been projected on us that was negative our entire life. And anytime we started to shine, people got jealous and people got envious and people got mean and people got cold and people became, especially with women dealing with men, a man they almost want to own and dominate you and control you. So a lot of us we have been just mashing ourselves to fit into something we don't really fit into. And it's uncomfortable, and you can feel that right now. When you're doing this to yourself. So I'm so serious, y'all. Don't think that what's happening on the outside, don't think that what's happening in war zones has nothing to do with us at all. It's all connected. And the more people we have who are able to be in a harmonious matrimony with yourself, then we'll start creating careers, jobs, marriages, ideas, inventions, things that we didn't really think that we could do. And I think it's a lot of powerful information and gifts and talents sitting within people who resonate with the content that I create. But maybe you've been too overwhelmed to clearly take steps to move into that direction. And so you just feel like you're just repeating the same thing over and over again, but you're not getting closer to some of the things that your heart is feeling a connection to. And that's called the void space. And so before I get off here, I'm going to say this. We're talking about that void space because it's being manipulated. So just imagine there's this villain. Okay, we're going to use our imagination because none of the conspiracy theories are fact, right? Just imagine that there is a villain. This villain has a lot of other minions. And their goal is to cause a drought of love, light, a drought of life. Because this villain can't feel love. It doesn't land. It's not a sensation that they can identify as being something that comes up when you're feeling love. They're incapable of those higher frequency emotions. So they become parasites and they only feed on the lower frequency emotions. And so the goal is to create something that's invisible, that is manipulating people's thoughts and emotions. Because if I can do that, I can make sure that I get fed. But I can also be the quantum hater that I am and make sure that nobody else gets to experience these higher frequency emotions. And so I'm going to make sure that I am moving in spaces with some of the most powerful people on the planet to ensure that the systems are in place for this to happen. With that villain having that strong intent to do that, who are you in that story? Maybe you ain't decided who you are in this narrative of what we're experiencing. Who are you in that story? Are you going to be the one that's going to let the villain bully you? The villain is bullying your children. The villain is just destroying and taking over. Or are you going to be the one to say, you know what? Nah, we're not even finna do this. I done did this my whole life. We're not even finna do this. And once you decide that you're not going to participate in things that drain your soul, and you start moving accordingly, and you start doing delusional things, like taking 5 minutes out of your day every day to tune into your body, to get present in your body, practice being with yourself, and to be optimistic, everything could be falling apart. And you just being optimistic. 5 minutes every day you doing that. That villain is monitoring you. And it sees that so-and-so ain't paying its emotional taxes of negativity anymore. And you're going to be identified as being a divergent person in the simulated reality that's created to create suffering. That uses fear to keep us stuck in prisons that we created ourselves. People mirror it to us, and then we get mad at the people that mirror it back to us, but they just really just letting us see the pain that has not processed in ourselves. So this villain is going to turn up the heat. And the more that you do the work, the more the villain is going to turn up the heat to try to get you to give up. And I don't think that I have attracted anybody in this live stream who's ready to give up. You might be tired. You might stop for a little while. You might need to quit. You might need to sit on the sidelines. You might need to go into hermit mode and just not be people unless you absolutely have to. That's okay. That's you saying, I'm not going to go with the flow with something that's draining my soul. I'm pulling myself away from it. I'm going to take some time out in solitude with myself if that's what I need to do. Whatever it is I'm afraid of doing, I'm going to start doing that. And I'm going to start small. The things that I don't believe I can handle, I'm going to just try it out just for a little bit and see how it goes. The ideas that I have that I haven't acted on, I'm going to actually spend some time sending some intentions to my future self to come and help present me out so that I can take the steps that I need. I'm going to call on that divine support from my higher divine self. I'm going to create a consistent conversation with the version of me that I know I am here to be. And we're going to talk every day. And if I'm talking to them every day, then the interference that I've been getting is not going to be able to pervade my mind because I'm keeping the communication open. I'm keeping the conversation going. I'm not conversating with the critical part of me as much. She there, he there, I hear them, but I'm not going back and forth with them. I'm gonna, wherever my attention goes is where my energy flows, and so I'm gonna starve the things that starve my soul. And by doing that, I'm going to be able to become a better version of me, and eventually my life will start to reflect that inner work. Now the 3D matrix is going to send the Agent Smiths. It's going to activate hurtful things in the mouths of people that you love just to see, are you going to let this bullet land? Or you go learn how to dodge, or you go learn how to move, you go learn how to navigate, you're going to learn how to adapt, you're going to learn how to tap into your intuition and predict, you're going to go and soothe your own nervous system, you're going to go and work on your own body, you're going to breathe deeply, you're going to go back to Khamsin Untamed Oracle's video because seeing like she might be onto something, you're going to put communication, you're going to put feed into your reality that's going to lead you to the person that you want to be. You're not going to ruminate as much as you used to on the negative stuff. Yes, Betty act like she got a problem with you every time she see you, and that's okay. That's Betty's problem, not yours. You're going to reroute your mind, and you're going to focus on taking care of yourself, loving yourself. You're going to focus on learning how to like the parts that you don't like. You're going to learn how to embrace and be okay with the fact that your house might just be a mess, and you just haven't had the energy to get to it. You're going to learn how to be okay with that. You're gonna, when you're doing these simple things, I'm telling y'all, when you're doing these simple things, I don't care what enlightenment books, information is out there. When you start simple like this is when you can be consistent. Don't set the bar so high. Because sometimes out of being tired of shit being how it is, our ego will set a goal that's really beyond our capacity to reach. That way the ego can say, I ain't stop you from doing it. You set a goal that was way beyond what we could reach. The ego is afraid to move into new spaces. The ego is afraid for you to be vulnerable and honest. So the ego would just be having you set goals that's gonna not be achievable just so it doesn't have to move into a new space. Until you change that, when you just set micro goals. A small goal, I'm gonna breathe deeper. Just for the next week. That's it. That's all I'm gonna do. I'm gonna breathe deeper and take 5 minutes to be delusional. That's it. Don't do nothing else. Don't do nothing else. I don't care if you're a man or a woman. Like, all that personal development stuff and constantly trying to fix yourself, I'm telling you, that alone will burn you out. But you also don't want to be the people who are not even attempting to be self-aware. And there is a certain level of pain that's going to come with you being self-aware. You're going to notice that you're actually emotionally unavailable. You may notice that you're actually mean sometimes. You may notice that your false self hijacks a lot of your conversations, and you're not making real connection, and you're not being real and honest with people. You're going to notice where you beat yourself up. You're going to catch yourself saying stuff to yourself that you wouldn't even say to somebody that you hate. This is what self-awareness means. It means you become aware of the subconscious things that you do. These are the things that we do that's automatic. You ain't got to think about it. You just do it. It's just automatic. Boom. That's a program. You got to put an interruption in the program. You got to change the code, and you change the code by these small achievable goals. Keep it simple. Okay? Keep it simple. And so in this journey right now, I've been really struggling with, I don't know what to teach and what to talk about. I've covered so many topics over the last 10 years to where I don't know what's gonna like be effective and timely and divine. So if this is resonating with you, like the live, let me know. Share it with other people too who can appreciate this. I'm not gonna always be in this vibrational frequency when I show up here. Sometimes I show up and I just got a joke for every damn horrible thing that is happening in the world, and that is a form of alchemy as well. But sometimes I show up as the loving, compassionate, empathic teacher who's just sharing from being a student of life, and not as a guru who got it perfect and got it all together, because I do not. But a lot of us are just tired of the rat race. How can you hear your higher divine self speak to you and you're too exhausted? You just want to be left alone. And when we feel like we need to decompress all the time, that's because the nervous system is letting you know it's some stuff that we need to process. And it's just like being emotionally constipated. And so I'm telling you, every thought is not yours, and every feeling is not a fact. The war that we were thinking was gonna be with swords and shields, and not, it's our words and the blocks that we put up between us and true connection. Let's not allow artificial intelligence to become our way of life. Because we could very well be being trained as we think we're training. And the only thing that's going to change that is self-awareness. So use it all. Don't let it use you. Work with it. I don't believe in decentering, the whole decentering thing in the way that other people have communicated it. I believe that relationship issues is just something we have refused to see for a long time, which is the blueprint that we were given in how to navigate relationships. It was based out of fear and not love, and that's what we're saying. So everybody don't need to do what everybody else doing and break up and get divorced and do this and do that. Some of us just need to love ourselves better, and our relationship will become more harmonious. And this is probably not what we want to hear. But the key to changing anything is changing you. And the first thing is to see, I'm not broken beyond repair. Like, I'm not useless. And you don't have to be ashamed that you had these kind of thoughts about yourself. I know you do. I do. You can, and you're going to hear it more often because of the technology that we're using. And so if we're using this technology, back in the day, it was only the people on TV and the people on the radio that could influence the entire world in that way. Now we can do it at all times. The comments that we leave, the videos that we watch, how long we watch them, we're influencing the energetic force field around us by what we choose to do. So we have become the stars. We always were the stars. We just didn't know. And technology has given us the ability to do this, and so there's a responsibility that comes with this as well. Okay? So just start with that. Don't focus on, just shift your focus. If your focus is moving in a direction and you can kind of start to feel where it's going, those entities are, they like this, like flies on a pile of shit. And this is how they do. And once you got enough of them on you, your posture will change, your cravings will change. It's just a level, it's just a low level of annoyance that you will feel like all the time. Just shit just get on your nerves. You pick up a ink pen and the ink pen got a piece of hair stuck to it, and you're like, why is this even on here? See, this is I'm talking about. I'm sick of this. When that starts happening to you, it is a lack of love. And nobody outside of you is going to meet that need for you anymore. This is the new earth for those of us who chose to awaken in this time. So you're not going to get that feeling you used to get from people. You're not going to feel it anymore. And it doesn't mean that it's something wrong. It means that you're healing. It means that you're no longer depending on an external source of validation and reassurance to feel good about yourself. It doesn't mean that people are failing you. And so if this is happening to you, say, I'm grateful, thank you. And I have talked about this in my own relationship. There are some things that I wanted to feel that my partner was not activating in me. And after doing the work, and I was like, wow, I can activate this inside of myself. Why am I waiting on them to activate it in me? I can reassure myself right now. Why am I making this be somebody else's responsibility? And when you start reassuring yourself instead of doubting yourself, when your conversation with yourself becomes a conversation that's mostly based in love, everything in your life with time will start to mirror that. I really mean this. Really mean this. So let's move away from feeling like we're at war with each other, with each other's weaknesses, with each other's ego. Move away from that. That's the version of Earth that is on its way to hell. And you don't want to be on that timeline. On that timeline, those entities act like prison guards. And they make sure that you keep responding and showing up in a way that's going to keep you in that loop, in that prison. That's going to keep you feeding them. Okay? And the void is a vacuum. And so in your energy field, when you get the feeling like that and you don't know how to meet that need inside of you, because a lot of men don't know how to meet that need inside of them. Like women, and I get it, I'm not picking on nobody, okay? But women have been trying to get a need met through a man who has not yet learned to meet that need in himself. And like you can't get blood out of a turnip. He just don't have it yet. Let's have a little bit more patience with each other and give each other time to grow through this thing. This is a new place for all of us. We're creating a new earth, not physically, vibrationally. So you can be in the same city and it could be chaos in the city, but vibrationally, you're on a whole other frequency. It's because you're doing the work. And when we anchor that frequency, what happens is the paradigm shifts because of the numbers, the power in the numbers, the power in the quality of the people who are choosing to do the opposite. And we start to solidify a timeline for us all to collectively experience that's different than what we see on the news. And so creating timelines individually and collectively, it is something that you do through your own nervous system. That is the bridge to the timeline. Okay? So, I think we're done bending spoons today. I wanted to jump on here and share. My heart felt open to do so. I'm going to post this replay on my YouTube channel. That link will be in the bio. And this one last thing I'm going to tell y'all that I've been doing consistently. I have been consistently moving my lymphatic system. Now, I'm using a combination of red light therapy and a vibration plate. Those are two of the main external things that I'm using for myself. And let me tell you, if your lymphatic system is stagnant and you don't want to buy anything, you can start off with the big 6 and just do it, search for it and watch the video and do it. And it usually starts with the clavicle and get that fluid inside of you moving. We're trying to willpower our way into a reality that is not accepting willpower as the admission. Okay, the admission into the new reality that we're feeling drawn to come into, it can't come through willpower. So you got to make sure that your body is prepped and primed for that energy to move like it needs to. The lymphatic system holds the waste. So what energetic waste, what emotional waste is just circulating inside of you and is wanting to be detoxed? Is that toxin wants to be purged. You can't be this better version of yourself if that toxin isn't being purged. So for me, I have noticed I'm able to be lighter when I'm moving that system because it doesn't have a pump. Nothing in the body pumps the lymphatic system. And because we're more sedentary than our ancestors were, we have to pump it and pump it every day. And this is going to help you so much, and you're going to be less tense. You're going to be able to have healthy conflict. You're not going to have to avoid conflict. You're going to be able to have difficult moments of being honest, with yourself and others, because you're more regulating. You're emptying out the sewage system. Look at what's happening with our oceans and our waters and with plastics. It's just a reflection of the plastic ass programming that we receive that keep us from being our true self. So everything is a reflection, as within, so without. So work on that. If you want to get one of those vibration plates, I got one in my shop. You can grab that, just put it in the cart and just leave it in there for a little while until you absolutely ready to get it. Just put it in there and just remember, this is not just about the physical body and exercise. You want to be able to be in a vibrational frequency that's going to be a frequency match to the things that you desire that have not yet come into your life. Well, it's a simple way to do it. And I really believe that doing this, it helps your relationship. It helps your relationship because you are showing up different. And if we would stop focusing on trying to fix other people, and focus on giving that love to ourselves, I'm telling you, that's the game changer right there. So be rebellious. Don't let all of this stuff going on manipulate you and use you, have you feeling the way. Come on now. Y'all ain't no suckers. Okay? Y'all didn't come here to play these games any longer. You know I'm speaking truth to you. It's just that a lot of stuff that's in your day-to-day life don't speak to this part of you because it's not on this bandwidth to broadcast this to you, and maybe you're not receptive of it. And it's why a lot of us struggle to receive compliments. It's just like somebody compliment you, God is forbid, and you be like, they must want something. They must want something. It's like we can't. We got this negative Brita filter that was created by these archons to keep us perceiving stuff in a way to keep feeding them low vibrational emotions. And you just got to catch it and be like, wait a minute. No, yes, I am feeling beautiful today. Thank you for telling me that I look beautiful today. Don't worry about the suspicions of why and what, where your attention goes, your energy flows. So some of us, it's not that the love is not being sent to you and mirrored around you. You're just not tuned to be able to pick up on it because you're hyper vigilant to the things that threaten your emotional safety. But the more emotional regulated you become, the less you're going to focus on things that threaten your emotional safety. And this is not something that you consciously tell yourself to do. It's just something that we do automatically because of the amount of trauma that we went through. Okay? Alright, y'all. So I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to put this on my new YouTube. Go check it out. Go ahead and doom scroll. I know you're finna do it anyway. Go look at some stuff. It's okay. It ain't no judgment over here. Do what you do. But make sure you come back and just keep eating this soul food so that you can become the version of you want to be. Alright, y'all. Peace.